Good afternoon. I am Chris Smith from Argus, and you might also know me as the Peacemaker. Peace is necessary for all. So with that, we're going to get into this Halloween episode of HCV Live and Uncut. Obviously, we're just 6 days out from Election Day, and in this particular instance, a lot going on in Jersey City. For example, you got a little bit of a bare-knuckle boxing match going on between Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day and Ward E Councilman James Solomon. Of course, they're both looking to be the next mayor in Jersey City, looking to succeed Stephen Fulop, who did not seek a fourth term, instead opted to run for governor, and he will take a big job across the river. But to the here and now, those two guys who many consider political allies have been going at it the past couple weeks, and O'Day has really turned up the aggression. On that point, we also heard from Jim McGreevey, the former governor who wants to be the Jersey City mayor, and he actually sent a letter to New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin asking for election oversight, and O'Day and Solomon pretty much laughed at his face about that, so we're going to cover that. We're also going to talk a little bit on Assad, what's going on in Bayonne, and specifically you got 1888 Studios and Paramount signing a 10-year lease, so that's a big deal for the Peninsula City, so we're going to chat a little bit about that. Also, what's going on in Hoboken. Of course, they have their nonpartisan municipal elections going on as well, and that's also November 4th. You have mayor, you have council at large, and you also have a special election in the 6th ward. And of course, I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit as well about the governor's race. Of course, you got Jack Ciattarelli taking on Mikey Sherrill, the U.S. representative in the 11th district. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-27.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, the Peacemaker, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what's happening in Jersey City. So there's this super PAC that's backing Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day, Social Progress and Union for Economic Growth. That's not one that's easy to remember, but nonetheless, this super PAC has been doing a lot of mail in support of O'Day, specifically by going after Jim McGreevey and Ward E Councilman James Solomon. So I'll give you a little taste. Jersey City doesn't need more speeches, it needs action, real plans for real delivery, because it promises alone built homes. We all have a place to live right now, and that's one commercial that the PAC produced about Solomon, emphasizing that no affordable units have been built during his 2 terms on the council. So that's 8-year, so tenure, of course. Now, McGreevey, in my estimation, has definitely gotten the worst of this. There's a fake newspaper, for example, that came out called Jersey City Today, detailing several of his controversies over the years, including, of course, resigning as governor, and more, much more. You know, it's about, I think it was 8 to 10 pages, so plenty going on there. And then there's more conventional mailers that have got out, at least a couple I saw, referred to McGreevey as everything you dislike about politics wrapped up in one person. So, you know, certainly playing for keeps over there. And this independent expenditure reported raising $290,250 for this cycle, and that's according to their October 24th report filed with NJELEC. Of course, that's the New Jersey Election Law Enforcement Commission, so that was pretty recently, less than a week ago. And all of their donations are from either developers or unions. Their biggest contributor by far being IBEW Local Union 164, who gave a massive $195,000 from their Committee on Political Education. Most people just call it the COPE Fund. And also worth noting, they previously gave $17,300 to O'Day, as I previously reported, and they've contributed again a total of $195,000 to the PAC since 2023, including $75,000 given last month. And other big donors include the Jetta Corp. They gave $50,000, and famous restaurateur and wine critic Victor Rollo donated $25,000. And I just go on talking about here all the media companies and consulting firms that have paid on O'Day's behalf. And we heard a response on the Solomon campaign. They said, now we also know more about who is backing Bill's attacks. Developers and real estate, putting the pieces together, it's clear. Big developers and real estate want Bill O'Day because they know he will do their bidding, end quote. So this is interesting because this all comes after a poll commissioned by O'Day that was released last Monday had a three-way statistical tie between himself, Solomon, and McGreevey. And then on Friday, Solomon put out his own poll that had him leading McGreevey by 2 points and O'Day missing the runoff by a handful or so of points. So interesting. Obviously, everyone's polling data this cycle has said something a little different. Given that this is not the kind of race where you're going to get like a university or any neutral third party to do any kind of polling, it's hard to really know where the candidates stand, but we obviously could say pretty confidently at this stage that whoever's going to make the runoff is more than likely going to be one of those 3 candidates. So talking about what's going on with O'Day and Solomon, there was a new commercial that just came out yesterday, and he referred to Solomon as gentrifying James, and he, again, to the point that the PAC made just that I mentioned a few moments ago, they're talking about he blocked any affordable housing from being built downtown. He opposes 2 major projects. I'm assuming that means the Albion Hotel at 150 Bay Street. They didn't say outright. And, O'Day said in a statement, I'm the only candidate for mayor with real first-hand experience building affordable housing, which is why an independent housing advocacy organization endorsed our campaign. Councilman Solomon's record and his plans on housing are both highly concerning because he's been on the city council for the last 8 years at a time when housing costs have exploded. Many longtime residents have been pushed out of their homes, and the city has completely failed to stop landlords from illegally increasing rents. So Solomon came back. Of course, he wasn't going to take that lying down, and he came out and said that O'Day and the council slate have taken $391,039.50 from developers and related industries during this election cycle, about 27% of their total donations. And then he went on to say, I am focused on building an affordable Jersey City with rents $1,000 and under because the cost of living is just too high here. In contrast, Bill O'Day has been in office for almost 50 years, and in that time frame, everything has just gotten more and more expensive. He's promising more luxury-only housing and tax breaks for his donors. So there's more, but I think you guys get the picture. And we're not even done with Jersey City yet. We also have to talk about what's going on with Jim McGreevey sending this letter to Attorney General Matt Platkin. So Jim McGreevey, this was Monday, I believe. He had PEM Law LLP partner Rajiv Parikh, and you know him as general counsel to the New Jersey Democratic State Committee. And the letter to Platkin reads as follows. There have been events held by mayoral candidates O'Day and Solomon where there was obstruction to early voting sites. Your office should investigate such efforts to discourage or intimidate voters and prohibit such activity for the balance of the early voting period or on election day. And they talk about an O'Day quote-unquote rally at the Hank Gallo Center. They talked about Solomon having a rally at City Hall. Of course, there's early polling sites there. And they really did not take this too seriously based on the responses that I received from the respective campaigns. For example, O'Day for Mayor campaign spokesman Phil Sobinski told me Jim McGreevey's entire career has been based on crossing ethical lines, so it's pretty hard to take any of his statements seriously. The event he's referring to in Lincoln Park was an annual Halloween party for local children, and it's been organized by the nonprofit South Hudson Civic Association for over 20 years with no involvement from the O'Day for Mayor campaign at all. And he went on to say if he has a problem with local kids getting free candy, should be running for mayor. And we heard from Stuart Thomas, the campaign manager for James Solomon, and I think this sums it up. In short, nothing in the letter you wrote is true, but given your long history of corruption, which is too long for this letter, we know you're familiar with cutting corners trying to win, so I would not expect those election monitors on election day, but let's see what happens. So folks, we're just going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. When I come back, I'm going to be sitting down with Jersey City Ward C Council candidate Tom Zuppa. We'll see you in a few.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. Chris Smith, you know me as the Peacemaker, and today I'm joined with Jersey City Ward C Council candidate Tom Zuppa. Tom, thanks for coming in.
John, thanks for having me. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, brother. So, all right, look, obviously, you know, let's go all the way back to 21. Obviously, a lot of people thought you had a good shot. Didn't work out the way you would have hoped. You finished third. And it would appear you didn't really take a lot of days off between now and then. And now a lot of people think you're the front runner. So what do you think's different about your approach this time around that has changed the dynamic of this race?
Yeah, I feel really good, John. You touched on it. It was the consistency that I had from maybe a day or two after losing that race and going into 2022, refocusing on community. And I always say, I said the last time I was on the show, that's the foundation of everything I do, which is getting to the people that need us most. So that when, you know, very rarely do I hear, oh, I haven't seen you before, or you politicians only come once every 4 years. That's not true for me or this team, and I feel very good about that. And I think what's really different is I think everyone sees that no matter what mayoral team you're supporting, and obviously I hope you all support Team O'Day and vote for Bill and our team, but the writing's on the wall that we need change, we need progress, and we need someone who's qualified and experienced to do that. And a lot of people have expressed their support for me, which I'm very grateful for.
Sure. Like, for example, I believe it was just last week, you guys got the endorsement for the Firefighters Union. And, you know, I saw an interesting interaction online. You know, some of the street safety advocates didn't love that. And you chimed in and said, well, look, this could work in like unison. This could actually be a great partnership. So could you just elaborate on that and why you think public safety and street safety could actually work in conjunction here in Jersey City? Yeah,
well, I'm grateful for every endorsement. Been very blessed with endorsements from a lot of the labor unions and then really the working people, the men and women of Jersey City, from 32BJ, SEIU to the trade unions. And the Central Labor Council, obviously very blessed. The endorsement you're speaking about, John, is obviously the Firefighters Union. Quick joke is I'm the shame of my family because I come from a family of teachers, firemen, and police officers, and as the lawyer and politician, I'm quite the shame of the family. But, no, kidding. Yeah, the comment you referred to was people being worried that public safety is often an excuse not to have progress in street improvements. Mm-hmm. And I took a different position. I said, first, we can't say we support the hardworking women and men of Jersey City if we demonize unions. Mm-hmm. So we can't do that. And I said I'll be better positioned to have the conversation because, for example, there was some pushback about the Franklin Manhattan Avenue bike lanes several months ago, and the conversation that the opponents said where fire trucks won't be able to get to emergencies safely. Well, someone as an endorsed candidate can go to the union, bring everyone into a room and say, let's have a conversation. We shouldn't be antagonistic. At the end of the day, we should all want safer streets, and we can accomplish that by having the conversation. And that's why I chimed in on Twitter, which, as you know, very rarely do I engage on social media.
Yes.
But I think it's important to have a direct conversation and say, listen, when I win, I'm going to have this conversation. We will have safer roads, and we'll make sure that public safety can get the job done and for the safety of all of our residents.
Sure. And, on another topic, during this current administration, of course, a lot of investment and opportunities has been given to Journal Square. And some people love it, some people hate it, and there's people in between. I don't need to tell you, but there's a bunch of stuff we could get into. But I guess, Pompidou, you were one of the first people on the record among the candidates to say, this isn't the time and the place for that. And so what do you think would be the best use of 808 Pavonia Ave in the next administration?
Yeah, great question. It came up in our debate here, and I answered first and pretty quickly, which is a community center. A center for the arts, for musicians, for artists to have space there, for kids' recreation programs, a senior center right in Ward C. There's so many different things that we can do, that space, that 85,000 to 100,000 square feet of space, we can use for our community who's already here. It's not that the Pompidou isn't a transformative great idea, it's that at $24 million plus a year to pay for it, when we have so many other needs and we aren't able to walk and chew gum at the same time for whatever reason, we need to prioritize our residents who are getting left behind, which are kids, seniors, and of course, those who need our attention most. Like
anything else, it's about dollars and cents, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of that, though, so then you've also been a big advocate about the courthouse park. So just any update on that or any feelings on that, as well as the actual courthouse itself?
Yeah,
of course, more of a county project, but
sure. So as a lawyer, I practice law often in Hudson County. I tried a case actually the morning of our first forum in Journal Square, and the new green courthouse, it seems beautiful on the outside. I hear it's nice on the inside, but it's not open yet. Mm-hmm. And the problem with that is it's delaying the destruction of the administration building, which is going to be the home of our courthouse park. I'd be worried about or wary of any mayoral candidate doesn't explicitly say they're in favor of that being 100% green space and not having any delays further. And Bill and I went on the record several months ago saying, whatever the logistical problems, let's fix them and work together with the county so that we don't have any further delays at the park, because we need that green space.
All right, makes sense. And is there anything else on your radar in terms of development and infrastructure in Ward C right now?
Yeah, it's the biggest concern we hear. I mean, it goes to the affordability argument. Our residents need real help. They don't need sound bites. They need or empty promises. They need words met with meaningful action, and that's why I feel good about our chances here in Ward C. Because, if you do your homework, if you Google me and my record, I have one. I've been an advocate on affordability, and whether it's whatever percentage mandatory it is, with trying to encourage affordable units for those who need it most. For example, we don't need a $2,000 a month studio apartment as affordable. Families who need affordable housing maybe need 2 or 3 bedrooms, and we haven't encouraged projects that support that kind of affordability, which has been the problem.
Okay, very good. Tom, don't go anywhere. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-27.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and I'm still here with Jersey City Ward C Council candidate Tom Zuppa. So an interesting dichotomy in this race, Tom. Obviously, only two can make it to December 2nd for mayor or any other race. But, you know, a lot of people have said from day one it's definitely McGreevy and Solomon, McGreevy, Solomon. And now all of a sudden, it's post-Labor Day. Bill O'Dea's gotten pretty aggressive. Of course, now there's this PAC helping him, as I mentioned at the top of the program, as you're well aware. So how do you feel about his chances now?
Yeah, John, great question. The same reason I feel confident that a first-round victory is possible in Ward C for us. Bill's been doing great. His experience, his knowledge of the facts in terms of affordability to just being involved in every conversation over his term in service is really showing through. And if you watch those forums and those debates, Bill's crushing it. And you know he may not may not charm you in a room at a meet and greet, but he knows the facts. He's genuine, and he's a guy that can get the job done. I'm proud to run with him.
Certainly knows the issues. I don't think anyone's going to debate that or dispute that. But with that in mind, Tom, let's also talk about, obviously, you've had some choice words for the councilman. You know, he hasn't come out to any forums or debates this cycle for whatever reason. And just, I guess, the point that I want to make here is I know that you've been pretty tough about his record and his accomplishments. What do you think are some things he's done well and you may want to continue in this 4-year term, assuming you do get elected?
I will be nice. I will say that he shows up to a lot of the community events. He hasn't shown up to any of our debates, and I think that's a huge mistake and a disservice to our residents, as you mentioned too. But you know, Ward C's diversity is one of its strengths, and I learned this 4 years ago going up against him back then. Is he does make the rounds to every community. It's just the question of effectiveness. Even if you're the councilman's neighbor, I think you have to look around at this point and say, when is enough, right? You can't possibly look around and say the ward is in good shape, the roads are in good shape, my tax dollars are going where they should go for quality of services. And that's, again, why I feel good in this race, because this isn't about friendship, it's not about past personal favors that were done or nostalgia. It's who's going to get the job done starting day one to turn the ship the right way, and that's why we're getting some support, a lot of support.
Got it. And on the other side of the coin, I'm sure you could do like an hour, but just give me a quick one. Some things that he's done where you'd really just like to turn the page.
The lack of affordability, number one issue. He was working with me and others in our community association for 2.5 years on affordability, and whoever got into his ear or his head, he just chopped the legs out from under that opportunity. And whenever he goes, this city's a disgrace, or they are ruining this city, it's been under his watch. And if we have families being pushed out, or they're making decisions between paying the rent or putting food on the table, or it's the end of the month, and this actually happened to a voter I met the other day. He's talking about it's the end of the month and he's having trouble making ends meet. That's the biggest thing we have to change, is we have to make this renaissance of Journal Square work for people so that they can afford to live in their community.
Got it, okay. And there was, as you're well aware, 2 other candidates in the race that also, little on the younger side, also, having progressive values. So, how come you don't think that they're going to be able to compete at the end of the day?
Well, again, if you do your homework and you look at our records, or those who have a record, if you watch our forums, I live and breathe this experience. I say that often. From Marion to Journal Square, Hilltop to the Heights, I live the Ward C experience every day. This isn't just something I decided I wanted to do 3 months ago and popped up. It's been my consistency in the community that has fueled this campaign. And we have people that are really struggling, and they don't need sound bites. You mentioned progressive values. I don't think there's anything more progressive than to go into public housing the way I've done the last 4+ years and help lift people up. That's the most progressive thing I can do. In terms of housing, again, having real affordability for families that need it, that's the progressive thing. It's not just building and saying, well, you can go live over there. That's not progressive at all. So our residents are smart. They'll do their homework. They deserve more than just a soundbite. And if you really are looking for something progressive or for progress, you're gonna come to this campaign.
All right. And then is there any initiatives that we haven't discussed, or maybe you haven't discussed much in public, that you think you'd really like to get out there, say, the first 90 to 120 days if elected?
We haven't talked much about the Summit Baldwin Bike Lane. We talked a little bit about transportation in our forums. That's something that I was in favor of and remain in favor of. Pat O'Meara asked me during the debate, do you really trust NJ Transit? I said, well, that's not my job to trust them. It's our job or the state assembly people and our state senator to hold their feet to the fire. But it's our job as a city council to make it easier for non-car traffic to get around, so buses to get around, or people that want to walk safely, ride a bike, use a scooter. I thought we'd talk more about that in this campaign. We haven't, but I'm certainly a supporter of those initiatives, and we'll put that along with mandatory affordable housing in my first 100 days.
Okay, very good. And then just real quick on that point, so, a lot of people, there's like this dichotomy, right, where it's like, well, you either have a lot of parking, you have a lot of bike lanes, and that's it. But obviously, there are folks that use both and would like to see more of both. I mean, how do you think you accomplish that? Yeah,
the irony of that is people that often say we have too many cars, too much traffic, are the ones that want more parking in new developments. So if we're in a transit-heavy area like Journal Square, that's where you're going to have the taller buildings. That's where you're going to have less parking spaces for residents because they have the path right there. Now, PATH has to do their job, though, and get their act together, and because there's thousands of new units going online, and PATH is not prepared for that kind of density. So our federal representative, state representatives, they really need to do something to encourage PATH to get their act together, because we have residents who are, we'll do our, like I said, we'll do our part in the city council, but we need to have partnerships throughout government.
Makes sense. Tom, best of luck, my friend.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're not quite done yet. We'll be right back.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View Live and Uncut, John Heinis. So I mentioned of course, the Hoboken races are right around the corner too. We're just 6 days out. The same thing as Jersey City, the same thing as the gubernatorial. So not really too much to add right at this moment, but I will mention to the viewers that there is something coming this afternoon. You have this interesting video that Councilman Russo obtained, of course, a mayoral candidate, the 3rd Ward representative, and it's actually the campaign manager of 2nd Ward Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher. So he appears to be taking down a Russo for mayor side, and he also appears to be going into a mailbox. I'm not clear if this is his building or someone else's building or what he was doing there, but the Fisher campaign has assured me that we're going to hear more about that later, so that sounds like that's going to be an interesting story. And also, I did all the ELEC reports for the candidates that filed, and Russo remains the top fundraiser with the most cash on hand by a pretty wide margin, with Councilwoman at Large Emily Jabbour in 2nd place, followed by Fisher and followed by 4th Ward Councilman Ruben Ramos, and then Didi Ajmani, who is the former U.S. Treasury official. So with that, just wanted to make sure Hoboken got a little something before we head to the polls. And of course, early voting is underway. It's very easy to go on the Hudson County Clerk's website, at the New Jersey Department of Site website, to look up your polling location. But just about every municipality in Hudson, if not all, has at least a location at City Hall, I can tell you that. So the other thing, and this is a little lighter, but I also want to mention 1888 Studios in Paramount. They reached a 10-year lease agreement for the 1.6 million square foot, 58-acre film and television production campus in Bayonne. And we just heard that late Tuesday afternoon, and certainly people are excited about it. It was a pretty big deal. I mean, this project, if you recall, a couple years ago when the Bayonne City Council was mulling this over, and when we started to hear about support from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, this is a project that was pegged at the time, $925 million. Obviously, that's a pretty nice chunk of change. You don't need me to tell you. And also worth mentioning that the Bayonne Council approved a $65 million bond and a year pilot. Of course, that's payment in lieu of taxes. So there's a lot going on here. This is going to be a pretty significant investment, needless to say. So we heard from Togus Urban Renewal Chair, Arpad Arki Busad, and he said, with 1888 Studios, we set out to build a cutting-edge facility that would attract the world's most ambitious storytellers, giving New Jersey true scale and a home for every facet of film and television production under one roof. By keeping American productions at home, the project, which will be constructed by union workers, will generate thousands of jobs and additional opportunities for New Jersey's small businesses. And we also heard from Governor Phil Murphy, and obviously he's excited as well. He said Paramount's expansion into New Jersey, utilizing 1888 Studios' large-scale, full-service production campus in Bayonne, reflects the incredible momentum of our state's creative sector, solidifying our reputation as a global powerhouse in the entertainment industry. By attracting world-class studios and productions, we're not only creating high-quality jobs, promoting infrastructure, and driving economic growth, but we are also investing in our communities and elevating New Jersey as a national leader in entertainment. So with that, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to vote. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week when we have a lot of election recap to do. See you then.